Like, let me
Mm-hmm.
say that again. You cannot download your next level. You can't get to the next place if you're still in on the hamster wheel, just performing your way through life. And so what
Yeah.
I believe, and I had to put it into practice, right? Like, put your money where your mouth's at.
Mm-hmm.
What I believe is that the power is not in the pivot. It's in what you believe about yourself when you pivot.
Hey, I'm Tine, your pivot and pay strategist. I help Black women double their income by leveraging their existing skills. I am all about getting Black women paid, whether you're an employee or a business owner. And you're listening to the Getting Black Women Paid podcast. Let's go. Hello and welcome to the Getting Black Women Paid podcast. I'm your host, Tine Zekas, international speaker, award-winning author, founder and CEO of Getting Black Women Paid, and your Audacity coach. We have a guest episode today, and I cannot wait. We talk about how reinvention isn't pretty, but that it will save you. We're going to be talking about what midlife disruption really looks like and how women can move through it without losing themselves. So I'd love to introduce you to our guest and then get right into the conversation. From crisis to triumph, Dr. Naeema Olatunji doesn't just inspire change, she builds it. After a decade as a chiropractor, a cycling accident led her to radically reinvent her life. She closed her practice, traveled solo to 13 countries, and founded Every Damn Thing LLC to help women over 40 reclaim their power. Now, a reinvention coach, speaker, and author of Raised as a Lie, Dr. Naeema empowers high achieving women to rise from burnout, break generational patterns, and thrive with purpose. Her upcoming book, Every Damn Thing, Your Disruption Manual, guides women to stop shrinking and start living fully expressed. Whether in workshops, keynotes, or candid conversations, Dr. Naeema delivers soul shifting truths and practical tools to help women rewrite what's possible. Let's get into the conversation. Well, Dr. Naeema, thank you so much for joining us.
I am so excited. This is such an honor to have a chance to have this really soulful conversation with you because I think that that's what you do really, really well, Tina. And so I'm excited about what's going to emerge from this time together.
Oh, thank you for that. Well, I always like to start with your origin story. I want to
Mm.
know how you came to be doing the work you do.
Yeah, it is such a big question. So I'm going to just give the highlights because just like anybody, it's like this where you recognize that there's so many roller coaster moments
Yeah.
and these reinvention moments, right? Like where you're like, wow, I'm like this whole new person because there's different seasons. And when you
Mhm.
get to the ripe young age of 54, like me, I recognize that there are um, so many versions of myself. There's so many seasons that I have had.
Mhm.
So I will simply say this that I was the little brown girl who was born into an all white family, lived in all white communities, attended all white schools, and I was told that I too was white. And for anybody who is watching this, you can see from the curls, I ain't never one time in my entire life there has been a moment where I have been blonde haired and blue eyed like my siblings. And
Mhm.
so I always knew that I was different Plus, I had an older sister who was working through her own things, and she made it her life's mission to make sure that I knew that I was not one of them. And so
Yeah.
people talk about othering, right? I think I've been othered my entire life. And
Yeah.
so it wasn't until I was 18 when the lie was revealed. And that became a huge pivotal moment in my life where I chose, with everything I knew and didn't know, I chose to live as a Black woman. And so when I went
Mm.
to undergrad, I was the blackety Black woman. I felt like I had things to make up for in years to um, compensate for. So
Mhm.
you would have seen me on campus with the Christopher Columbus is a murderer and a thief t-shirts, and
Nope.
joined the new Black Panther Party, put big dookie braids in my hair, big ring in my nose, and you would have saw me with a fist in the air, down with
Love it.
Whitey. Like, my entire family was like, what the hell?
Mhm.
And I went to University of Southern California right on the heels of the uprising in 92. So the city is on fire. My parents thought I had gone to hell, literally. And so it's been a journey, but my entire adult life I have lived as a Black woman in true search of how I uplift other Black
Mhm.
women. And I think that the most beautiful thing that we can ever do for each one of us is to recognize that all of our purpose here, we all share something that is very in common, and that is that we are here to reveal and reflect the divinity. And and in that, whatever that divine looks like for you, in however it is that you share that with your gifts. And so I think that the most beautiful thing that we can do in our purpose is to uplift others, and whatever that looks like for you. And for me, it's uplifting other Black women.
Mm. Oh my goodness, what an incredible story. I mean, we all have our racial identity development story, right? Every single one of us has, grown and developed into what it means to us to be Black women. But to go through life with such a different story being told to you until you were 18, that is incredible. And I just love how you took that information and then you dove in, experimented, tried all the things, and and then came out of it with this connection to other Black women. I love that story, um and honor you for um doing this work of uplifting us, especially in the challenges of reinvention. And
Mhm.
there are so many women who stay stuck maybe longer than they should. And so I'm wondering, what are sort of those quiet signs, the whispers that tell us that we're overdue for a reinvention?
Mm, I think that when we start making excuses for how we're showing up is the biggest signal to us. Meaning, when you wake up in the morning and there's not a smile on your face or a lightness in your heart, it sounds more like, "Ugh." And the thought is, it's another day. And that day is packed with a to do list that's quite frankly overwhelming. What I believe is that when we start hearing the whispers, and it's our own voice, I don't
Mm,
even think it's something else. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't think it is the external forces. I think that when we spend those quiet moments and we walk into the bathroom and the reflection back at us is not a smiling, happy, joyful face. It
mm,
is let me fix my mask
Yeah.
so that it's just right so I can go out into the world and perform. When
Mm,
your life becomes performative and it is not lived from a place of peace, from a place of connected to your purpose, it is
mm,
not um, from a place of recognizing that you have a vision that is pulling you. Reverend Michael Beckwith says, pain pushes you until your vision pulls you. I believe
mm.
that until our vision is pulling us, we do a lot of doing as opposed to being. And so, for anybody who is listening, if you find that you're doing and you're performing and you're fixing your mask to your face
Mm.
and you put a smile on, but it's only surface level, then you got to know that what's calling you is your purpose. What's calling you is the thing that is trying to be birthed through you. And you cannot possibly do that if you are just going through the motions in your
Yeah.
life.
Yeah. Wow. And I know there are women who are listening and what you described is exactly what they're experiencing. And so that can be such an overwhelming feeling, right? That, oh my goodness, I've been living my life with this mask on. I'm always just trying to fix my face, right? And put on a show. And and so I wonder, for any of us who are hearing this and saying, that sounds overwhelming. I guess I just need to change everything about my life, right? You've said that reinvention isn't about changing everything, but it's about, coming home to yourself. And so I'm wondering, what does that actually look like, especially for, women over 40 who you work with?
Yeah. The thing that I find so interesting is how we default to the extremes. It's either on one end where we're doing nothing, or on the opposite end when we're doing everything, right?
Yeah.
Or when we have this idea about maybe a vision, a dream that we have, and we think we have to eat all of the elephant right now, hurry up, because we are, especially here in the States, we are born into a game that is already in progress. That game is in progress, and I swear to you, it is on fast forward, but it is by intention. There's an intentionality around keeping us feeling unempowered, keeping us feeling like we've got to stay on the hamster wheel and move as fast as we possibly can, because there are powers that be that are not interested in you connecting to who that you truly are. Like, what is
Mhm.
the essence of who you are? If you have all of the time for you to sit quietly and get very still and connect with that, then you're not willing to put up with the BS. You're not going for the okey doke. You have disassociated yourself from a world who is externally telling you who you should be and how you should be.
Yeah.
So when we spend time, which is my biggest advice, I mean, outside of obviously calling me, I think that you spending time getting still, and it does not need to be for a 10-day meditation retreat. But if you took 5 minutes every single morning, because it is your daily priority, is to focus on you, and you start on the inside. And if that looks like you're sitting in the bathroom on the side of the tub because your kids are wilding out, or you have ran into the place, your closet, like wherever it is that you find peace. For me, it's outside in nature. Take
Mm,
those moments and just breathe, because you cannot breathe in the future. You cannot breathe in the past. The only thing that exists is right now. And in that breath, what's calling you? Spend enough quiet moments, and you're going to hear that. And it's going to be so clear that you don't have to do it all. You just have to do the next right thing for you.
Oh, I love that. The next right thing. And for those of you listening, I love that advice of taking that 5 minutes every morning. Even with a packed to-do list, we all have 5 minutes where we can be present with ourselves. And you mentioned that, it's kind of here in the US, the culture here that gives us that sort of all or nothing thinking and that, hamster wheel mentality. And you have traveled. You solo traveled to 13 countries over just 15 months. And I first just wow. But I'm
Right,
wondering
right.
I'm wondering, how did that journey reshape how you see success, womanhood, and healing?
Mhm. So I have to start that answer with I was lost. I had it all, or so I thought. And when my cycling accident happened, I was busy in my life. I was
Mhm,
doing all the things. I had a successful practice and a team and hundreds of patients and money to spend and amazing friends and these three great kids, and I'd survived all of this stuff like we all do. And I
mhm,
thought it was all amazing until my cycling accident happened and I crashed. And now I could see the fragility of the house of cards that I had built. And it took me a long time. So what I don't want people to to walk away from this conversation believing is that we've got it all figured out. And those of us who choose to lead from the front, those of us who choose to raise our hands and say, yes, I will answer the call that has been placed on my heart, and that is to show up and help other women negotiate and navigate through their own visions and their dreams, that we don't also suffer. And so there
mhm,
was months after that accident, literally 3 months, where I felt like I was dying from the inside. And when I finally let go in this very pivotal moment in my bed, sobbing my eyes out, like, what am I going to do? Everything is crashing down
mhm,
around me. And I just let go. And this one question emerged: what's possible now? And that
mhm,
changed everything. So, if I can give any advice at all, I would say this: ask better questions and you're going to receive more elevated answers. If you are stuck in this cycle of why and how, and you're not in your business, first of all. The how is God's business. The why, also not your business. It was supposed to happen. It was supposed to unfold. You actually co created, you sat with God at one point and designed this life and the experiences and the lessons that you are now experiencing. So, why is a useless one?
mhm,
How? That's somebody else's business. It is the what. And the what is you asking yourself what's possible. And so for me, it was asking that question. And when I picked up that empty passport and traveled solo, what I think is what I gave to myself was a gift that nobody and no other thing you couldn't watch. I couldn't watch a video or a movie or learn it in a workshop. You have to see firsthand. And
mhm,
when you experience life outside of your circle, outside of your community, outside of your country, when you experience life in that way through a new lens and a new filter,
mhm.
I think that although it might be trite to say, you do get a new lease on life. Things come to you in ways that you could have never imagined. But you asked, right? You asked what's possible. And so the universe is like, girl, I got you. Let me show you what's possible. And then you get all of these things. And it was an incredible, priceless journey that gave me back to myself.
Mm. Oh, that's incredible. And I want to highlight a couple of the things you said for folks who are listening, the thing I love is the idea of just mind your business, right? The why and the how, that's God's business. Your business is the what, and the what is what's possible now. I love that. So when you're doing your 5 minutes every morning, that can be the question that you kind of keep revisiting. What's possible now? Oh, I love that so much. And
It
I'm
is
just
so
think,
good. If I could add one thing to the morning,
yes,
that
please.
that morning 5 minutes, if the very first thing that you say is all of my needs are met,
Mm,
I think that it changes energetically the space that you're coming from. All of my needs are met. So what's possible now? Right? Like that's different from what's possible now. Right? Like those are two
right. Is
different
it possible
energetics.
for me to get out of my bed?
Right.
Right.
How is it possible? I don't think
Yes.
it's possible. Yeah.
Oh, that's such a great framing because, right, as you're saying, if I'm coming into it stressed and I'm out of gratitude, I'm just thinking about lack, and I say, "What's possible now?" It might be the kinds of things, "Am I gonna be able to pay the mortgage? Can I get all the stuff done in time?" And it still goes back to that to-do list. Whereas if we start with, "All of my needs are met," now beyond that, what's possible? That's where we're building something even better. Oh, I thank you for adding to that. That's incredible. And
Loved the way that you reframed it too.
yeah. And so you went from, doctor to author, speaker, and reinvention coach. And I'm wondering, what were the mindset shifts that helped you own that new identity? And were there any was there anything that almost held you back from that?
100%. Like so I have three kids. My youngest was 2020. He was a sophomore in college. He lived off campus. Nobody lived with me. And I thought, yes, I'm going to go and travel the world because I need a year. I need to figure myself out. And he was fine until he wasn't. And then one day he absolutely lost it. And we had this huge argument. We're packing up stuff. And what I didn't realize is that I was the last person here that was his rock. Everybody else had
Mm,
moved, you know,
yeah.
and his father and I unfortunately divorced when he was in middle school and he left the state. And so while I thought that this kid was well on his journey and his way to making his own career, becoming a pilot, and he was happy doing that, his foundation was me, and I was leaving. Now, it was
Yeah.
just for a year, but I was leaving. And that almost broke my heart. I almost, I tried actually to cancel everything, but I
Mm,
couldn't because God said, you are not his vessel, his conduit where the blessings come from. I do not have grandchildren. His blessing is directed at him. So
mm,
go and do the thing and let me connect with my child.
mm.
Khalil Gibran says that your children are not here for you. They come through you, but they are not of you. They are not here for you. And I remember knowing that, but also forgetting that, right? Like it was a tough moment. And so I journeyed on this path um, so that I could prove to myself that I could do it. Because
Yeah.
here's the thing, you can't download your next level if you're still running your life on survival mode. Like, let me
Mhm.
say that again. You cannot download your next level. You can't get to the next place if you're still in on the hamster wheel, just performing your way through life. And so, what
Yeah.
I believe and I had to put it into practice, right? Like put your money where your mouth's at.
Mm-hmm.
What I believe is that the power is not in the pivot, it's in what you believe about yourself when you pivot. And in that, for me, I was losing the belief in myself. And so I knew I had to go out and do this thing. And here's the thing, when you travel solo and you have an empty passport, like you don't know what you don't know. And let me tell you about
Right.
the things I didn't know. And I had to learn it along the way. So that meant that I had to adopt things like patience. The
Mm-hmm.
word that would never be written on my tombstone, humility. When you are a boss, when you are an entrepreneur, when you're a solopreneur, when you are the head of your household, which you learn to do very well is always be the person with the answer. Well,
Mm-hmm.
if you're in places that you don't speak the language, you're not familiar with the culture, and you're just here trying to be observed, to be an observer, that you have to humble yourself
Yeah.
and be joyful in whenever the screw ups happen, because I missed flights, I got on wrong buses, I went in circles, I did all of these things. And yet, what I was present to every single day is that I was just present. So even
Mm.
when it's scary, you got to go and do the thing. I just believe that you need to be part of a tribe that is going to support and carry you through that, right? Like I help high achieving Black women over 40 stop performing so that they can start reinventing. But we do it in a sisterhood, we do it in a
Yes.
community. You are not isolated, you're not in a silo, you're not all in your head, because your head can be a scary place, right? Like you have
Yes.
to be able to connect with your other sisters. Like this solo individualized life here in these states, that's not where it's at. And I think that every other country gets that. Like, this is the
Mm.
great American experiment. Like, let's see how fast we can drive these people crazy, put them all on their own individual islands. Why are we doing
Yeah.
that? Stop
Yeah.
it. You got people
Yeah.
out here who love and want to support you. So let's link
Mm.
arms and do that.
Yes. This country definitely has an individualist focus, but you're so right that we need to do these things in community with each other. And I think the biggest thing I'm taking from what you just said was that the power is not in the pivot, it's in the
Mhm.
belief you have in yourself when you make the pivot. That's everything. And I'm wondering, if you could sit down with the version of yourself right after your accident,
Mhm.
scared, unsure, facing that loss, what would you tell her about what was waiting on the other side?
So this is such a perfect question, because 2 weeks ago in my kitchen, so I'm back here in the States, um, and I'm back here in my kitchen, and I have this moment where all of a sudden I'm in the house by myself, and I'm getting goosebumps retelling this story. And I'm standing in the kitchen and I'm doing something like chopping a vegetable. Who even knows? I'm in the kitchen. And all of a sudden, I'm standing next to myself and I see myself chopping the vegetable. I see myself rhythmically going through the motions. And
Mhm.
then I hear myself, who's standing next to me, say, "It's good here, right?"
Mm.
And let me tell you the power of the question. Everything was in that. Everything was in those 4 words. That
Mm.
was my now self. That was the future self that was always waiting for me. That woman that was laying on the bed that was so afraid of every damn thing.
Mm.
This version was always beckoning her forward, was always calling to her, telling her, encouraging her, keep coming, keep swimming,
Yes.
keep pushing forward, and then allow when there needs to be ease, because everything isn't a push. But what it is recognizing your next right step that we talked about, trusting and having faith that there is a future version of you standing next to you at all times. Just like we all recognize now that we've come into this awareness that our inner child, that inner little girl of us who's still there and present, and we need to account for her, and we need to talk with her, and we need to let her know that she is safe and that she has survived, and that everything that she has gone through got her here. Like there's an older, there's a future vision version of yourself that is also beckoning you forward. Trust and believe that she is always there. And if you spend just a few moments recognizing that the tough stuff that you're working through is all purposed, because she, that woman, is calling you. And one day she's going to say to you, it's good here, right?
Wow. I want to thank you for sharing that story because my entire body felt a huge sense of relief when you said those 4 words. It's good here, right? I cannot wait for my future self to tell me that. That's what an incredible experience. I'm so glad we got to speak in this moment just after you had that experience. And we are going to be wrapping up, but before we close, I know that you have a gift for our listeners, the Before the Rise mini journal. And I'm wondering if you can share kind of what's inside and how it helps women kickstart their reinvention.
This is the biggest gift that I can give from my heart. That moment that I laid on the bed feeling more despair than my heart could hold, what came to me after asking what's possible now was these 5 questions that if you sincerely ask yourself from a place of pure honesty, like you got to get honest with yourself, sis. Like, this
Mm,
isn't the moment to pretend. This isn't the moment to perform. This isn't the moment to be surface. Like, you got to get really honest with yourself. And I asked myself 5 questions that I promise you God was asking me. It just came through me. Those 5 questions that are in this mini journal, those prompts, if you take those truly to heart and sit with yourself and
mm.
answer those questions as honestly as you can, what I truly believe is on the other side of that is the vision, is your dream, is the thing that has been calling and beckoning you forward, just like your future self. Because whatever the gifting is, it is my belief that the world has nothing for us. We have everything for the world's. And if you do not give your gift, if you do not say yes to the thing that is trying to be birthed through you, that is trying to emerge through you, then the rest of us, we're missing out because we don't get your gift. But you can't give your gift if you're stuck in survival mode. So if you use these 5 prompts, it is the Kickstarter, it is the beginning, it is the thing that allows you to start from where you were at, to start truly connecting yourself to your vision and to your dream. And it is the greatest gift that I think that any of us can give ourselves.
Oh my goodness. Well, thank you for giving that gift to us. And so for anyone who's been listening and who got in their feelings when they heard Dr. Naeema talking about, going through the motions and adjusting that mask and just surviving, doing the to-do list, if you're feeling that, if you're feeling stuck, you're tired, you're ready for something new, you definitely want to grab the Before the Rise mini journal. We will have the link in the show notes. It's just going to be those 5 questions that will help you release what's no longer serving you and reconnect with what's calling you forward. And, Dr. Naeema, for listeners who are saying, I need more from you. Where is the best place that folks can keep up with your work, your books, or connect with you in other ways?
Yes, awesome. So drnaeema.com or everydamnthing.org is where you can find me on website. And then I am on social. I am Dr. Naeema at Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and I'm really bad at LinkedIn, so I don't know what it is on LinkedIn, but you probably don't want to go there anyways because I'm really bad at LinkedIn. So those are the best places to find me. So yes, absolutely reach out because we are getting ready to start our next 90 Days to Rise group coaching program, which is a sisterhood of women who come together. And what we do is align our purpose and birth our dreams through 12 weeks. And I'm super, super excited about this upcoming cohort. So definitely go online and see if it makes sense for you, because come join us. Girl, the water is amazing here.
Yes. Oh, I love it. Well, so we will have those 2 websites and then your social media links also in the show notes. But Dr. Naeema, I just want to thank you again for being with us, for sharing your story, and for using your gifts to uplift us and to help us reinvent ourselves. I think the work you're doing is so incredible. So thank you.
It's an honor to be here with you. Thank you.
All right. And thank you to all of you who joined us for this episode, and we will see you in the next one. Hey, thanks for watching the Getting Black Women Paid podcast. If you enjoyed the conversation, make sure you like and subscribe. And remember to hit the notification bell so you can catch more episodes like this one. And join the conversation by leaving a comment below. Be sure to share this channel with the incredible Black women in your life so we can continue getting Black women paid. All right, we'll see you in the next one.